Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Our research-backed videos are engaging, easy to follow, and they help ease the daily challenges like agitation and anxiety so that you can focus on connection and joy. Available by subscription on mobile and TV apps, Zinnia makes every day a little bit easier. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Medicare Moments is the podcast. Toni King is your host. Hi, everybody. My name's Jim. Toni, welcome to another edition of Medicare Moments.
Here we go. And we got some exciting news to tell all of our listeners. It doesn't depend on what state you're in. We're talking about nationwide issues with Medicare, right?
And the title of today's podcast is Son Loses Mom's House Because of Poor Medicaid Choices, Toni.
That's right.
And
this is a true story because I got an email from an Ameriprise financial planner who had no idea what to do. Is that amazing or what?
It's amazing. So let's jump right into it. And it goes like this. Toni, I have a client, Joshua, who just received a bill for his mother's long-term care paid by Medicaid in the state of Texas, with care provided at her house instead of a nursing home during the last few years of his 80-year-old mother's life. No one informed him that the state was running a tab of all healthcare expenses that Medicaid paid and wanted to be reimbursed after his mother died. Medicaid says the $65,000 medical bill that Medicaid must be paid in full. Joshua recently received a document from MERP, Medicaid Estate Recovery Program, saying that Medicaid wants the money used for his mother's care back and is filing a lien against the house that his mother owned, which Josh now lives in. Americans need to be aware of their state-specific Medicaid rules when receiving extra health care, especially if you or your family member owns a home. And that comes from Chuck, an elder care attorney and a Toni Says reader, because Toni, you're all across the country in newspapers every week.
That's right. And his financial planner that he was working with could not answer the question. That was what was amazing. They were trying to help this gentleman. Chuck needs to know that everyone should know about MERP, Medicaid Estate Recovery Program. And Medicaid has their own website. And I've got the article, which is on the Senior Resource website, and it'll be on my website that gives you the Medicaid.gov website that you need to go to view all of this. And it's a very long URL. You know, you got to be state specific.
Well, and I think it's important what you just said. You can access it. And the way to access it is in your article at seniorresource.com. Correct, Toni?
Correct.
You want to find out what your state rules and regulations are, because Joshua may have been thinking, well, my mom's getting the care she needs. She's home. That's comforting to be home. And when it's over, it's over. But when it's over, it was not over.
No, it was just starting. And in the website, it talks about the state Medicaid programs that are required to recover certain Medicaid benefits on behalf of the Medicaid enrollee. Okay, they're looking at the person who is on Medicaid. And for individuals, they started from 55 and older that are required to receive recovery of payments from the individual's estate, not just for nursing home. It's care at home Medicaid is paying for. They may be paying for at-home care or something. It's for home and community-based services. So a lot of at-home care companies will accept Medicaid, so they get paid by Medicaid or home health or whatever. And if you go in the hospital, any hospital-related charges that Medicaid pays for, or prescription drugs, Part D, all of that. Whatever the state's paid for, they will put a lien against the house or against if you've got a 401k or whatever. They want the money.
So if you're receiving the Medicaid, you have to declare any assets that you have. And then that gives them the opportunity to attach those assets with a lien.
They'll send you a letter. They'll file a lien against you. And if the house is still in your mother's name, you're going to lose the house. Technically, Medicaid has a 5-year look back period. So if you're thinking about moving your mom's house to yourself or whatever, just remember they've got a 5-year look back period.
An important tip from Toni King on Medicare Moments, because Toni just told you that if you're going to make those kind of arrangements, do them well in advance so that you are past the 5-year look back. Another good reason to listen to Medicare Moments with Toni King. And we'll have more right after this break.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Recognized by feedspot.com as one of the top Medicare podcasts in the nation. It's hosted by Toni King, and it's called Medicare Moments. Hello, Toni.
How are you doing, Jim? And you make it fun. We work together. We do well as a team. Wouldn't you say?
I would. It's fun working with you. And we're telling people about something that's really important, especially, I guess this comes under the category of estate planning, right? Because you're looking ahead and you're trying to protect your assets. And in this case, there was a shock because Medicaid was coming back for what they estimated, the $65,000. And they put a lien against the house. So whenever that asset was sold, I guess that $65,000, maybe even with interest, will come off the top, right?
That's right. So, and when we do a Toni Says consultation, I've got confused adult children who are shocked to discover that their state, whatever state they're in, has taken a lien against their parents' house because of long-term care costs that the state paid for. Each state has different rules. So you need to find out what your state's Medicaid rules are.
So it's possible that the house might have to be sold right away if there's no other money to pay the bill, correct?
That's right.
So as Toni says, it's state specific. So Pennsylvania may be different than South Dakota, and it's state specific. And so you really need to find how your state administers that if you're in the Medicaid situation. And a lot of people don't plan to go on Medicaid, Toni. I would think you found out over the years, but it just happens, right?
Well, they look at how much money their mom's bringing in, what her Social Security check is. And she qualifies for Medicaid. Maybe she doesn't have any money in savings or whatever, but she still owns a house. And that's what confuses people. And the hardest thing is when your parents are getting older is trying to take control of it. I should know. I did it with my mom. It took a while, but I got everything taken care of. And so you just got to get in the game.
Yes, you do. And I think it's important that you said the letter sent to the enrollee's estate states that the amount recovered by Medicaid will not exceed the value of the estate's assets, if any. If there's no money or assets in the estate, then there's nothing to recover.
That's right. If the house was not in the mother's name, the son would not be having a problem.
Right.
And some parents don't want to relinquish any of that. I mean, it's really sad. Right. They're just into control. And, you just got to learn how to play the game with them.
So your advice, Toni, to someone in this situation, I think you're going to lead them to an elder care attorney.
That's right. That's what's important. And that's what's in the article that's on the seniorresource.com website and on my website. Work with an elder care attorney that knows the Medicaid planning. Make sure you've got someone that knows what's going on in the state that your parents are living in. No one wants their adult children or grandchildren to be their caregivers, but sometimes we have to because your parents can't do it anymore. I'm going to get there and you're going to get there someday, Jim, maybe.
Someday. And one of the other important Toni tips is this, and we say this all the time, and we actually can't say it enough. Please don't rely on advice from well-meaning friends who are not an expert in either the Medicaid or the Medicare arena, because through the doors of Toni's office have walked many people who have done just that and ended up with very poor advice for their particular need.
That's right. They don't know what to do. And people don't realize how traditional long-term care plans that they really don't want to have to pay for. Oh, I'm never going to need long-term care. You know, what am I going to do? They don't realize that Medicaid long-term care is totally different. And it's based on your income. If you got too much in income, you won't qualify for Medicaid long-term care. You're going to pay everything out of your pocket completely. That's the way it goes.
We hope that this edition of Medicare Moments has helped you with this really important topic. And Toni King, of course, is the author of the Medicare Survival Guide Advanced Edition, which is a simple guide that puts Medicare in everyday people terms. And you can, of course, get your copy of that at tonisays.com. That's TONISAYS.com. You can email Toni questions at info@tonisays.com or call and leave a voicemail. We get lots of those. 832-519-8664. 832-519-8664. Toni looks forward to hearing from you. She likes to hear from all of the Medicare Moments podcast listeners. So Toni, throw this back to you as we end this podcast.
Well, we need to let them know that I am Toni with an I and not a Y, because I am a girl.
Yes, you are.
And that's my little, that's what I say. That's my little tagline. Okay. Talk to you later, Jim. Go have fun. Hi, I'm Toni King, host of Medicare Moments podcast. Join me every Wednesday as I share tips, strategies, and little-known facts I've learned over the past 20-plus years. I put Medicare into people terms, and I want to help you personalize your Medicare, because with Medicare, it's what you don't know that will hurt you. Medicare Moments is available now anywhere you listen to podcasts.